What is going on, you guys? This is Eric Hits for the win. I know I'm very late on this, but I wanted to talk about the Last of Us 2 trailer that premiered at, what was it, Paris Games Week? I saw most of the show. I kind of wanted to talk about more than just this trailer, but this is the one, of course, that is causing a stir with the media. This is the one that's quote unquote too violent right now. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on the trailer, and then we'll talk about all that other stuff that's going on with it. So right off the bat, first things first, I want to know this girl's workout plan. I mean, I've been trying to make gains in my own personal life. This girl's ripped. I want to know how many clickers is this girl benching right now, because I don't know. like gains is apparently life in this game. I mean, she's a meme right now. It's like when the apocalypse is happening, but gains is life. That's what this chick is all about right here. So the theory is that this is Ellie's mom, which I didn't know at first. Obviously, when I first saw the trailer, I just saw a bunch of people I didn't know. And because of that, I didn't know what this was at first. A bunch of things were going through my head. First, the graphics looked on point where it should be Naughty Dog. And I was thinking, okay, is this The Last of Us? But then once I didn't see Joel and Ellie, I started thinking maybe this is Days Gone. Maybe this is something I don't know about. I had no clue until the end, of course, when you saw the clickers and everything. But up until that point, it was just this question mark. And so the trailer at first didn't really do anything for me. I even tweeted like, man, I don't know about that trailer. It didn't really grip me. I was pretty much saying, this didn't do anything for me. And then, I went about my day and I started hearing about the theories about Ellie's mom being that woman. And so I was like, I'm going to watch it again, knowing that, now. And so I watched it again and it was totally different. It meant a lot more. I started seeing little clues in there, like when they had her, tied up and they were pointing that knife to her stomach. I thought, oh, wow, that could be a sign that maybe she's pregnant, even though she's not showing at all, really. But maybe there's some kind of belief that these people have, maybe there's some kind of cult or something, and they believe that the babies are going to have this, curse or something. They're going to be a clicker. I don't know. I started having all these things run through my head. But then I noticed that the other people who died before her and were hanging, their stomachs were cut as well. So not sure what's going on there. They do refer to the clickers as demons, so it does seem like this is probably early in the outbreak. Maybe it just happened and that's kind of their, name for referencing the clickers. And so the trailer started picking up for me. It was like, wow, this is actually a good trailer now that I know this theory, and it just meant a lot more. So the trailer is really good. I mean, yes, there's some violence going on, definitely some violence, but overall it's showing this world and how brutal it is, right? Because it's The Last of Us. When we played the first game, we were pretty aware that this is, the end of humankind and they're trying to survive. So there's all these factions, there's clickers running around. It's going to get brutal, it's going to get violent. And I believe Neil Druckmann said somewhere that this game is going to be about hatred. I remember hearing that somewhere on the internet. I don't know if it was Twitter or what, or it was him himself, like his Twitter. But he did say that. And so he did come to the defense of the media, who is kind of calling this trailer out, saying it's too violent. And he said, look, we're trying to show this world for what it is and tell a story and, show our art. And Sony is even coming to the defense of saying, we're letting our developers show their art and do their thing. And that's one of the things that I always felt like, it separates Sony, because they let them just do what they want to do. And that's always great for the gamers. So with that said, let's talk about the media and what's going on with that. So I'm going to link the article in the description. I don't know if you want to click it, but just so you have some reference, you don't know what's going on, and you want to just, read everything. So Polygon, they said, in the title actually of this article, it says, "Stop using extreme violence to sell your game." So you already know what's coming. I know what's coming. I read most of this article just to make sure I didn't misinterpret anything. Well, this girl who wrote the article, she pretty much says, look, there's these women who are getting assaulted, and that's wrong. Like, that's pretty much what she's trying to say in this article, which is, to me, it is comical already, because it's like, well, why don't you feel that way about the men? The men are always getting abused, they're always getting assaulted, killed, but when it's women, it's a problem. And that bothers me. That's always bothered me. And when it comes to the media and just thinking things are too violent and all of that, I've never understood why, we try and be equal, right? We're all about equal rights, and I'm with you. But it stops when it comes to this. It's like they don't want women to have the equal assaults and killings and all this other stuff that the men do. And really, when it comes down to it, we're talking about a video game. Okay, this is not real. This is make-believe. This is a story, and it's a fantasy. It's not real. So even having this discussion at all, whether it's men or women getting killed, it's not real. So I'm already reading this article and thinking, here we go. But she does focus on the women being assaulted and that there's extreme violence under the assumption that will be rewarded for more information for doing so. She also says that information never comes. So she's basically saying that there's this violent scene and we're waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for some kind of context, why this is mattering right now. Why do we need to see this? And she says it never comes. So because of that, she's kind of asking or saying that this wasn't really necessary. This violent scene of the girl getting her arm smashed with the hammer and having them being hung and all this stuff is not necessary. It's too violent and, it doesn't really go anywhere. So that's her argument. And I could see that argument, like, yeah, there's not really a lot of context, but if you know the theories, if you've played Last of Us, I don't really think that's even going through your head. You just want to see the game. You want to see the characters. You want to see the clickers. You want to see anything, really. And so myself, when I was watching the trailer, I wasn't thinking, well, where is this going? I was just thinking, who are these people? Because I wanted to see Ellie. I wanted to see Joel and have some confirmation like, hey, this is The Last of Us. And I was just kind of confused. But I wasn't thinking, well, why are they showing this violence? It's not really doing anything. It's not going anywhere. I wasn't even having that thought. So she's kind of making us think about that now. She's trying to anyways, saying that there's no context. And this trailer right here, she says it fails to introduce or even really tease the story players will embark on. That is its problem. So she's kind of focusing on that, how it's just not going anywhere. And it's not really a story trailer that does anything. And that's her opinion, but when she focuses on, the women are getting attacked and that's not right, it's too violent for the sake of being violent, that's where she loses me, because we know that The Last of Us is a brutal game. We know the situation, the setting. I mean, it's the end of the world, it's the end, possibly the end of human beings. And so, yeah, it's gonna get crazy. And so to me, sometimes I think, yeah, these writers, these journalists, sometimes they have these agendas, possibly, right? That's kind of the thing. Like, people like to say they're SJWs and all this. For me, I don't really go to that right away. The thing I think about, I guess maybe because I do write and I like to write and I'm somewhat of a journalist, even though I'm very, amateur or whatever. I think of it like they're doing this for clicks. That's the first thing that just I think about. I'm like, I think they're doing this for clicks, or they're just really stuck with writer's block. They don't know what else to write about. Maybe they're not the best of gamers, because that's kind of the thing now. We look at some of these journalists and think, man, they're not really good at games. They don't really know much about the gameplay itself or the story of these games to even provide any kind of logical sense or anything, because they're just coming up with things to kind of rile people up. Violence is bad to show us because it's a violent game, but it's too much violence. And it's like, what are you even talking about? So this is why journalists get a bad rap, because, people are going to read these thinking there's an agenda here. They're trying to create drama where it shouldn't be. And And to an extent, I do believe that there's a lot of journalists who probably do that, but it gives everyone a bad name, and that's where it kind of sucks because, you know, there's some good journalists out there and they really know their stuff, but then you have this one come along and it just gets everybody against journalism and against these sites. And I just think of it like they just want clicks. It's the same thing with the guy who was playing Cuphead really poorly. People were asking, you know, why would they put that up? That's so embarrassing. Why would they do that? It's because of clicks. Really, if I was the editor and that guy brought me that gameplay and I looked at that, I would think, wow, this is terrible, but this will get clicks. And it's true, because look what happened. You had me making videos about that. You had other people making videos about it. You had, you know, people tweeting about it all day. It gets attention. And that's really what it comes down to. Whether we agree with this stuff or not, we're clicking it. I'm on the article right now, you know? So it is what it is, you guys. It's just one of those things that I think this is not going away anytime soon. When it comes to Polygon and sites like that are pushing these kinds of articles, I kind of see it like maybe they're on their way out a little bit. And I'm not trying to wish that for them. I want them to have a job. I want them to keep writing if that's their passion. But I just see it as like YouTube is really changing things, and it's been changing things. We have people who have hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers that get more hits than these articles. And so I think it's these sites just trying to get the hits back. They're trying to get clicks, and this is what they kind of result to. They have to put out so many articles a day. So I'm sure there's tons of moments where they're like scratching their heads and they're thinking, I don't know what to write about, because I do that. I mean, there's times I don't know what to say in a video. You know, we can't, I mean, we can only be creative for so long. There's going to be times we hit a wall. And I think these sites go through that and they just figure, you know what, I'm just going to kind of pick on something with this trailer and let's just write about it and let's get some clicks. And that's what happens. So that's just my thoughts on it. I, of course, don't think this trailer was unnecessarily violent. I mean, yes, it is violent. It was kind of hard to watch, but at the end of the day, it's make-believe. It's not real. And that's the end of it. So thanks for watching this, guys. I appreciate it. Until my next video, you guys take care, and I will see you and talk to you then. Peace.